Good evening, comrades. Good evening, supporters of the St. Lucia Labour Party. Good evening, political leader, second deputy leader, chairman, and my other colleagues. It's a pleasure to be here this evening with you. Tonight marks 5 years since the last general elections. In normal times, elections would have been called already. A date would have been given for the people of St. Lucia to decide who would lead them for the next 5 years. But for some reason, this Prime Minister has decided that he is in control, that he decides what happens and when, and totally puts aside all convention, all practices, and disrespects the wishes of the people. The people of St. Lucia want elections. They want it now, Mr. Prime Minister. I want to start off by thanking the people of Castries South for giving me the honor and the privilege to represent them in the Parliament of St. Lucia. Yes. They've denied us for the last 5 years. They said we had to cry, and they thought they would break us. But we are not broken. We are stronger than before. And we are strong because we believe that the St. Lucia Labour Party will enter into government at the next general election. We are strong because we believe that the St. Lucia Labour Party cares about us. This is a party that cares. This is a party that puts you first. And we have hope that whenever elections is called, the St. Lucia Labour Party will be back in office. We believe the Labour Party cares, and we have faith in the Labour Party. Because for the last 5 years, this government has shown us that they do not care, that they do not put the people first. And there is no better example of how they failed the people of St. Lucia than in the management of COVID. The people did not bring COVID onto this land. The government did not bring COVID onto this land. But there was an opportunity for the government, when faced with such a national crisis, to show that it was going to put the people first. Truth be told, they failed miserably. They put the economy before people. And the Prime Minister said it very clearly. What's the sense? What's the sense in saving lives when there are no livelihoods? That the people came first. Big business came first. And the small businessmen, the small hustlers, and you, the people, suffered the most. We never said that the economy should not be opened up, that business should not be given support. But you cannot put the interest of business before the welfare and the lives of the people. That is a simple point. And we all know what happened with the COVID pandemic and its management. When people were crying out to close the borders, the government delayed it. They delayed it until the cruise ships decided they would not come into St. Lucia anymore. They closed our borders for us, rather than we closing it to save our people. And just when you thought we would have ensured that we got rid of the coronavirus and managed it properly, what did they do? They opened the borders to flights from overseas. The people of St. Lucia were crying out. We even said, if you are going to open up, put in place proper protocols to make sure that our people are not affected. Did they do that? No, they didn't. And when the virus started affecting us again, what did they say? Backdoor entry. Labour Party match, blaming the people of St. Lucia for a virus they did not bring onto this land. And somebody still has to tell me, how did the UK virus variant got here? Was it the SLP match? Was it the backdoor entry? The fact is, they failed you, the people. They could have done so much more to ensure that the welfare of the people of St. Lucia was put first. They never did it. And when you, the people, were crying out for support, for income support, for relief support, did they listen? No, they did not. To this day, people are still crying out that they cannot have proper food stuff to at least have free, decent meals. Right now, a year and a half after the pandemic started, they've still not put you, the people, first. They fail you medically. They fail you financially. They fail you socially. They fail you in every aspect of managing the COVID crisis. Every aspect. Recently, we heard talk about the lack of medication at the hospital. It's been months we've been saying that we have constituents who come to us almost every day looking for support to buy their medication. In the midst of a pandemic, the people of St. Lucia cannot get basic medication at the hospitals and the health centers. We've had to extend support to our constituents so they can get medication. We've had patients at OKEU having to go and buy medication in town. Is that how you care about the people? Is that how you care? And then the crime is increasing. And again, they blame the people. Without accepting that the social tensions that are created in the country because of the stress and the trauma of having to deal with a pandemic, with a government that do not care about the people. If only they were giving more support to the struggling and hustling people of this country, the farmers, the bus drivers, you know, the early childhood educators who are struggling to keep their business, the creative arts people, all sectors suffering in this country. And the people have been crying out for support from this government, and they continue to fail the people of St. Lucia. And lastly, the vaccination. Just when you thought, at least with a light at the end of the tunnel, they would get the vaccination program right. Dominica had to give us a few vaccines. Barbados had to give us, because our government failed to make the necessary arrangements early in time to make sure that our people can at least get vaccinated. But you know, we've suffered, we've cried, some of us have, but we have hope, because we have hope in the St. Lucia Labour Party led by Philip J. Pierre. We have hope that the Labour Party will bring deliverance to the people of St. Lucia. We have hope that we'll have a better St. Lucia. And I promise you that the St. Lucia Labour Party will build back better than what exists in St. Lucia. So whenever the Prime Minister calls it, he can take his 3 extra months. He's even talking about herd immunity and postponing it. That will not happen. Whenever he calls it, the people of St. Lucia, we ask you to take a stark assessment of what this government has done for the last 5 years. And I'm sure you'll reach a conclusion that this government is not in the interest of St. Lucians, and that it is the St. Lucia Labour Party that will put people first. Thank you very much.